All right. I want to say Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, and giving great honors to the elders of GMS who rule well to the best of their abilities. All right. Um, Now, this is a video. It's a response video to a video that was made by GMS Fear the Most High 7. The title of the video, well, it was posted by them. The title of the video is Nate is a Murder at Heart. GMS Jamaica, sit down. And the one speaking the video was Shapar of GMS Jamaica, who is the leader of that camp. All right. And my name, by the way, is Yayan Kazak of GMS Kingston. You know, now normally, if you know anything about me, normally I don't make videos. Um, I have mostly dealt with my blog and blogging about the truth and maintaining that blog. I think which is very important. Because sometimes the links that I post will die to GMS videos and new GMS groups and sites, and links within the articles that I wrote would die, and I'd have to update them and stuff like that. And I'm obviously always answering comments, and doing lessons within the comments, which is very fulfilling work. But for some time now, the spirit has been on me to make a video. There have been certain topics that I felt compelled to respond to. But anyway, and this is one of them. But the spirit was so heavy, I couldn't resist. I had to respond to this, and in a moment you'll see why. Now, the issue in this video is that the rape in the Bible issue, right? And Shapar was going into how there's been a rise in an issue in Jamaica where young girls are seemingly kidnapped and raped, and then sometimes mutilated. No, I will wed this with another issue that's been going on in Jamaica, which is not typical. This rape thing in Jamaica is not typical. Any country in the world, from time to time, women will get raped. You have some crazy people out there. um, but it's not it's not more of a. It's historically, it has not been more of a problem here than anywhere else. No, and the other thing that I want to wed that to is a scamming thing, which is not also typical. Scamming in Jamaica, believe it or not, is new and it is not typical either. And I'm going to tell you right now, right? Because ever since that scamming thing became an issue here, internationally, you've been hearing because Jamaica has a scamming issue. There's some travel warnings, and there is increased travel warnings. And it makes us look bad in the UN and all that. We have negative ratings because of it. I'm telling you right now, it's these foreign alphabet three-letter government organizations that are behind promoting this type of crap here in Jamaica. All right, and I don't have any proof. All right, I don't have any proof of it. All right, I'm going by the spirit, because I know how they like to style us and try to typecast us. Who can't walk down the street in New York City without being stopped and frisked. And when they're the ones pushing the drugs on us and the guns, trying to style us as something negative so that they can look the wickedness and the things that they have done to us historically and presently, they can look less guilty. And if you read history, you can read Josephus. That's what the Romans did to us after they burnt the temple and butchered the people. It says specifically, Josephus said that they went and told the world, trying to typecast these people as slaves and low caste people, and said all kind of negative things about the children of Israel to cover up the wickedness that they did to the population of the residue of the nation. Josephus himself said that. So this is just their MO from a long time ago, and it's constantly happening, and they constantly try to do it, covering up the faces of the judges. All right, not just by painting over the images of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, but and our images in paintings, but by our uh, um, how we are perceived and perceived by other people. I remember Arab was telling when I was living in New York City, and Arab was saying how I was told this story before, and this was way before I was in the truth, that he was asking a black guy, listen, that's a custom in his story. He was saying, why is there racism in America? What does white people have to against black people? Because I'm living among you, and you're not bad people at all. You're not worse than anybody else. And then he got into the fact that before he came here, and this is the genesis of why he was saying asking these questions about racism to his black customer, was because before he came here in the Middle East, whichever country he came from, that before he came here, the white people were telling him how to talk to black people here, how to treat you, and all that. You know, talk basically to talk down to us and to keep that status quo of how they want us to be treated and seen. And he came to find out that's all bullshit. So imagine we combine. So apparently this Ishmaelite was a strong-willed person, but and not as petty as the average person is. But imagine how all the other nations respond to that kind of encouragement. This devil has a lot to pay for. All right. So anyway, there's a big issue with rape here, and recently, I'm talking about in the last few months, it's been escalating over a period of about 2 3 years, because you kept hearing these funny stories, and then and people need to use their common sense. How is something like this going to happen? This become a huge problem like this out of the blue? There has to be something behind it. You know, if theft, if crime is escalating, use an example, there would be a reason behind it. It's not just all of a sudden overnight the people come more dishonest, and nothing happens overnight. Has to be a reason, right? It's just common sense. So, young girls are being, 14, 15, 12. I remember a story, um, a little girl, like 5 or something, another one 9. I'm like, well, why are you going to rape a 5-year-old? So anyway, the girls would be raped, and then sometimes, I don't know about often, but sometimes mutilated. The vagina would be cut out, or something be stuffed up the vagina. Head would be cut off, all that. And there was a video, a doctor came out, and he was trying to reveal, which the news media here in Jamaica said it's fake. Right? The doctor is trying to reveal that, listen, the media is covering up the real root of what's going on, that these girls are kidnapped for their organs. And when he said that the media, there are very wealthy people in Jamaica that are behind it, one human body for its organs could be easily $1 million US. And I'm telling you right now, that sum is a huge incentive for many people here in among Benjamin. The same ones that weak enough to bleach themselves, you know, to feel accepted, are bent over for a man, for a forward. Them same nigger there, yeah. They'll sell their mothers, much less kidnap a girl and get $1 million. You know what Jamaican dollars that is? Even in the media, right? So, and the reason I was inclined to believe him once he mentioned the cover up aided by the media, because that's what's going on in America. The cover ups in America is aided by the media. And everything America does, right? These wicked niggas here in Jamaica practice as well. You know? Everything. Down to giving you a ticket for your seatbelt, which I tried to explain to a policeman one time. And I explain this to the people in general all the time because I'm always teaching. Always straight through. You know? Is that, listen, if black people weren't in America, you wouldn't have laws. They wouldn't be giving tickets to people for seatbelts in America. That is selectively enforced in America. And I told them the first time I got a ticket, I went to in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. I went to the courtroom, and besides the judge and the police, there was only 4 people in the courtroom, packed wall to wall, no sitting room, like sardines, literally, shoulder to shoulder, packed with people to pay tickets, and only 4 people, besides the judge and the police, like I said, were white. Everybody else was black. Everybody else, right? And you have to understand the population ratio in St. Louis is this: 85% white, 15% black, right? So they have passed these little stupid laws, you know, to oppress people, and it came out in the Ferguson riots that they were wrongfully targeting the people, the people, and that's why they got pissed off, and it exploded. How is it that I'm going to be in a place, it's 85% white, it's 15% black, and I go to the courtroom and the courtroom is packed with black people in there paying tickets, and there's only 4 white people? You know how many times I drive down the highway in St. Louis, Missouri, and white people flying past me without seatbelt, and I have to watch my speed with my seatbelt on? Why do you think they're going down the street like that? Because they know nobody going to stop them. Nobody going to give them a ticket. So to come back to the issue, right? The spirit was on me heavy to respond to this video because the exact same thing happened to me with an IUC member in Junction, St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, yesterday morning in a restaurant while I was eating breakfast. He walked in. All right, give me a sec here. All right, the scriptures are up there. I might have to get some more. So yeah, I was in a restaurant yesterday morning eating breakfast, and I saw a man come in with a shirt with fringes on. So right away I knew he was an Israelite, besides his big beard. And I paged him, and he turned around and came over to me. I called him over to me, in fact, and he told me he was with IUIC, and I told him I was with GMS. And right away we got into it, and we brought out the scriptures. And I'm going to say this encounter confirms to me what the elders always said about IUIC, that those guys are pirates. They don't have the spirit of the Church of Berea to search the scriptures for themselves and get understanding for themselves. They, they just memorize scriptures to prove the points that Nate wants them to prove. They don't know. It's so beautiful. I'm going to show you what happened, right? So we went to the scriptures, and main issues came up. There were other issues following the law. And what he said about following the law was ludicrous. All right. We spoke briefly on the name issue, but what we concentrated on, reason why I'm responding to this video, is the rape issue. And this years ago in 2007, and Elder Ariam Lab did a video on this in 2007 about the rape issue and how Nate did the gymnastic moves to go around the scriptures to say it's not rape. It was at that time I stopped. I never watched another Nate video again until recently. That Haitian guy speaking, and when their blue get-ups, for last year, and I about last year, and maybe the year before I was watching one and two, and this is from 2007. So last year was 2016, 2015. After 2007 is the first time I watched any IUIC videos. All right, and for months now I haven't seen any of them. I just, you know, I felt hatred for Nate. I'm going to tell you honestly, from 2007 when I saw how he behaved with the scriptures, and I saw that he didn't stand up for the word, and he was trying to use emotional things to get people to because it showed me his agenda. It wasn't about the truth, which can be offensive at times. It was about how he looked at people so that he could be more accepted. And then he saw it as a weapon that he could use against GMS that stood firmly for the truth. So anyway, we got into the scriptures, and after talking about the name briefly, we got into the rape issue, and I brought out Deuteronomy 20:22, right, verse 28, 29. And when I read it to him, I'm going to read it to you now, right? If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, right, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. Now, let me read the first verse, 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hand on her, lay hold on her, and lie with her, right? Now, he's saying, it's not saying rape. He didn't force her, and didn't take her, and didn't do all these things with her. It's not saying that. So each time I brought up these verses, right? Because the other scripture is 1 Corinthians 7:36. So we'll get to that. Each time I brought these scriptures out, I asked him, I said, you break it down for me then. If that's not what it's saying, I'd love to hear you perform this miracle and break it down some other way. I want to hear it. And he couldn't do it. Right? He couldn't do it. Without making a fool of himself. Right? And I'm going to come back to Deuteronomy 20 to 29. Right? Now, in 1 Corinthians 7:36, it says this, I'm going to read. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, because to back up Deuteronomy 22, verse 28 to 29, I brought out this scripture, 1 Corinthians 7:36. And it basically says, let me read it. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the floor of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will. He sinneth not. Let them marry. No, let me read it again. Right, 1 Corinthians 7:36. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the floor of her age, and this is where he had a problem. He was saying the floor of her age doesn't mean, right, that she's bleeding. She just starts seeing her period. That's not what it means. It means she's at a marriageable age, but it doesn't mean anything. It has nothing to do with her period or nothing like that. This asshole, right? It was just amazing to me, this guy. So I said to him, again, I wanted him to break this down. And there was an issue here. There was a time issue because he was saying, he had to go to work. He had to he had to leave, and he kept stepping away and then coming back because the conversation was so heated. Um, you know, um, So I didn't get to go and do what I really wanted to do, because I could have shown him easily that he's, you know, he's not informed. He errs not knowing the scripture. Because, I'm going to go back now to Deuteronomy 22, but he left. I couldn't show him what I want to show him. But it's very simple to understand. Because if you go to Deuteronomy 22 and you don't start at 28, and you go up a little and start at 25, it then becomes clear that the whole thing is about rape. So let's get into it. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man, right? Remember it says, but if a man find a betrothed, so she's given to another man already. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. Right? But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Right? So that's clearly rape. You rape another man, woman, you get put to death. He wants to suggest, by the time you get to verse 25, 28 now, the subject change or something. Right? He must be suggesting that. It's no longer talking about rape, it's talking about something else. Alright? So let's continue reading. For he found her, let me read the last verse again. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, right? Same scenario, except now the virgin is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, he may not put her away all his days. Right? And the man force her. So it's clearly talking about rape, about defining what constitutes rape. So by the time you get to verse 25, the subject matter has not changed. It's still the subject matter, given two different scenarios. What happens when it's a betrothed woman that happens to, and what happens when it's not a betrothed woman. So how is that not rape? And then I gave him the example when the Benjamites were exterminated, and it was only 600 men of the tribe of Benjamin left. How did they get wives? Some girls are dancing. The other tribes said, listen, this is what you need to do. See, some girls celebrating there. It was a certain feast at the time, as a little, like a little festive thing. And it says that the girls are accustomed to go out and dance in a certain area, like it was like a square or something. And the man said, listen, all right, the Lord said don't kill off Benjamin, so this is what we're going to do. You see them girls over there dancing, and we'll go and grab up some of them and take them with you as wives. And that's how we have the tribe of Benjamin today. Right? They didn't go over there and give them number and tell them, so listen, let me take you out tonight and buy dinner for you and talk to you and buy phone credit for you. Them know nothing like that, boss. You understand? Them didn't ask them name. Them see which one them like, them grab them up, and them go home and beat it up. Wicked. Right? You know what I mean? Pounded it. Right? And them girls loved it, man. Alright? This is the truth about man and woman. Alright? That's another example in the scripture. Were these men wicked for doing it? Don't when we go to war, we rape as well? When Michal, I believe her name is, or Micah, is it Michal? It would probably be Michal. Saul's daughter that was betrothed to David. But because David and Saul had the falling out, he gave the betrothed Michal to another man. When David came into power, him say, yo, send back Saul's daughter that was betrothed to me. Did David send her love letters? You think David you think David asked her please when him lift up that skirt the first time, when him finally get her back? He did whatever he wanted to, man. And she couldn't call out rape. Where in the Bible is there girls that, matter of fact, when Abraham's son Isaac got hit, when the servant went to it would be Abraham's brother's house and got Abraham's wife and brought her back. I can get the exact scripture, but you all know what I'm talking about. You can, Google is a powerful tool. He brought back the loyal servant brought back his wife, and they met for the first time, and she put the shawl up and everything. I could go and pull out the scripture. What happened? Were they sending love letters back and forth between each other? Huh? Why can't he understand that the ideology that he has today is based on the society that the white man has created? Right? And what he's doing is actually going after his own righteousness. I'm going to expound on that too. Going after your own righteousness and not the righteousness of the Most High. And then you condemn men of the Lord over your own righteousness. And not by the book, not by the law. It's early in the morning. I don't want to start yelling because I actually woke up 3:30 in the morning and decided to watch videos, and this is what I found. And that's why I'm making the video. It's about 5:30 now, probably 6 o'clock in the morning. People are sleeping. But I had to come and I had to make this video. Think about that. There's a big, today is a very feminine, Batman, homosexual society. Back then it was a very masculine, paternal. Jamaica, right now, 80% of managers in Jamaica are women. Man. Jamaica, among Benjamin, is very maternal right now. Right? And it's very, very bad, very, very disastrous. I give you an example, quick example. JLP Prime Minister Golding on BBC condemning homosexuality. He's a man, so I'm standing up for the thing. A black man. Alright? And the thing about it, for me, my father's a lifelong PNP. So I never supported JLP even when I considered voting, which I don't know, obviously, I'm an Israelite. Right? But when Golden said that on BBC, I instantly looked at the whole party differently. I instantly had to say this man was my prime minister. Because he stood up for the right thing. Portia Simpson, the leader of PNP, when she came into power, what did she say? We have to look and revise these laws for the homosexuals in Jamaica. At least she didn't come out and say, yeah, we're going to change them. But she couldn't make a tough stance. Right? She couldn't. Why? Because she's a woman. Why? Because America is pressuring African countries saying, listen, we're not going to give you aid if you don't change these laws. So what do you think Portia's motivation for that was? Typical woman. Right? So in Israel, we had a different spirit. We understand. You have the scripture, so you're supposed to understand woman. I talk to women now. I don't talk to women like I used to. Right? I tell them what them for. And tell them what between their legs. I tell you straight, what is between your legs, I mine it for. For me one. Mine. You talk like say God send them come directly to me. As some talk to woman. I'm not beg. Nothing. Right? And it work every time. They love it. They love how I behave. And I haven't dealt with a woman in a long time. You know why? Because I have understanding. This adultery issue is a huge, I have a huge understanding. The Most High blessed me with understanding over this issue. Right? And you know, I have a beautiful post on it on my blog. And I just can't do it, man. I'm terrified, not of women, but of the fact that they've slept with so many different men. You know? How is it I'm going to not be defiled with these women? And of course, I can't get a virgin, right? Which is an issue that came up in a restaurant. This man's gonna ask me in a restaurant with about 10 people if I would give my 13-year-old daughter. See, being emotional, thinking that I'm going to back down now, saying this in front of people in the restaurant. Would I give my? She's a child. Why would I give? If I would give my 13-year-old daughter to a man to marry? I said, yo, I'd give my 12-year-old daughter to a man to be married, right? For marriage. 12 years old, not 13. 12. You know? Boy, it's so funny. You know, this word is so beautiful. I just praise the Most High every day that I have it. I praise the Most High every day that He gave me His name. You know, because it's clear that some people are just blinded. I don't know how you come so far and you're in the truth. You have a big beard. You're wearing fringes on a t-shirt, which you're using to come against me to say, well, I'm not following the law. But you don't understand simple things like this. And I didn't get to tell him, you know, that because he had to leave. Again, like I said, he had to leave. But I wanted to tell the dumbass wearing his fringes that because I had to read 2 Corinthians 30. I read the whole chapter to him before he left. You know, and that's end up running on time because 2 Corinthians chapter 30 has about 22 or so verses. But I had to read it to him because one of the main issues that we had before we started getting into the rape issue was the law and following the law. He brought out scriptures that says, you know, the Most High, you know, respects His law over His own name. All right, and I was telling him he's taking that out of context. He doesn't understand what that is saying because the law itself, even man, the scriptures tell you, man wasn't made for the law. The law was made for man. You know, and then to prove it, I said to him, and I didn't even say that to him. I said to prove that, give me another scripture to back that up. You can't get another precept to back that up. You know. You know, so we had different discussions about the name because when he said that, I said, who's the Most High's namesake? You know? Then he didn't answer that. He went into Yahushua, into Revelations where Yahushua is going to get a new name that no man knew. I said, what that has to do with the point that you just made? You know, I couldn't go into all the details of what we said because I don't even remember, you know, the details that would be important to convey this information to you. All right? But bottom line to all this is that the main point is Deuteronomy chapter 22. If you start from verse 25, it clearly shows he's talking about rape. Right? And it covers two different situations. One, a betrothed woman, and a woman that is not betrothed. And I'm getting a little distracted because some people outside all of a sudden. But who knows, maybe I'll make a part 2, but I think I've said enough. You know, well, let me see, because I'm writing a reply right now on the site to that video, which precipitated me to make this video, this reply video. And You know, who knows? Maybe I'll make a part two. I don't know. I don't. Maybe not. I think I've said enough. But I really have to end the video now. And I hope brothers was edified. Oh, another issue, IUC member. You know, so I might make a part two. The reason why I say, because he brought out a scripture where he said, but the scripture said that for rape, this issue of rape, a man will be put to death. So I said, bring out this scripture, this magic scripture. I want you to show me this scripture. Sure enough, he brings out the scripture. I can't remember exactly which one it is, unfortunately. But Google is a powerful tool. He said where the scripture said that the woman, if a man rapes a woman, he will be put to death. Well, let's read that in Deuteronomy 25. But he was saying that is a scripture, is strictly rape. So sure enough, when he gets the scripture, it says a betrothed woman. I said, there you go. So that's why I said they're parrots, because he didn't even know the scripture that he was talking about. It's not even a scripture that he read the book and learned about. It was something that he parroted from Nate. Come to talk to me, a GMS member, which is, the elders always say, man, we go leaps and bounds over all these guys, and it is a fact, because we are taught properly. We have been taught properly and thoroughly, and showed good ways to go about practicing this truth. All right, they want to act as if, because certain emotional little foolishness, they don't, the elders can be a little garish to some people, that are emotional and weak, and they don't look at the whole picture. They go at little foolishness to try and judge them and say, okay, because of this, nothing they say is right. They're the best teachers in Israel. They're the reasons why I know to be like the Church of Berea. And let me end the video here. I will maybe make a part two. All right. I hope the brothers were edified, and as always, praise the Most High. Thank the Most High. Tawada to Him. Always. Yahweh. Bahasham Yahushua.